Hi, my name's Matt Chesser. I'm the Environmental Program Administrator for the Planning, Preservation, and Development section of Delaware State Parks. I work very closely with Lee on Fort Delaware, also down at Fort Miles. Lee's the historian here at Delaware State Parks, but he really does a whole lot more than that. He oversees smaller construction projects, larger construction projects, works with my staff and myself on numerous things. He is the impetus behind getting projects done. On projects like Fort Delaware State Park, he's been the driving force for many years on getting numerous projects done out there. At Fort Miles, he's literally single-handedly taken this project, and without his work in several areas of our parks, we wouldn't have the visitation that we have today. Lee's a great colleague. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a great person to have around the office. I love working with him at the fort. We've spent a lot of late nights out there working on the Ghost Hunters projects. So, you know, if you can sit down and spend some time with this guy, he's a wonderful person, and I wish we had more of him.
Leland C. Jennings Jr. is a key figure behind the success of tourism at Delaware State Parks. Lee began his work in 1993 by reviving Fort Delaware through historical restoration and living history programs. As a result of Lee's exhaustive research, visitors from across the globe travel to Fort Delaware to enjoy the first-person living history reenactments and a broad spectrum of multiple-day special events. Lee's unique program has received wide acclaim, including special recognition in 2004 from the Smithsonian Institution. In April of 2008, Lee attracted the attention of the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters program, which featured Fort Delaware in a June 2008 episode. It proved so popular that in October of 2008, the network returned for a 7-hour live Halloween special. As a result, additional ghost tours were added to the October's program, all of which sold out. And overall 2008 visitation to Fort Delaware increased by 10%. In 1999, Lee began work to rehabilitate the buildings and recondition the historic site at Fort Miles on Cape Henlopen State Park. His work resulted in the nomination of that area to the National Register of Historic Places and restoration of a gun battery and several World War II-era buildings. He led the effort to develop a series of weekend-long special events at Fort Miles that attract visitors and historical reenactors from throughout the country. Lee directed the reenactment of the Battle of Couch's Bridge, the only Revolutionary War battle fought on Delaware soil, as well as Garrison Weekend at Fort Delaware, and an innovative program at Legislative Hall for Delaware Day 2008. Throughout his career, Lee has been instrumental in the development of several living history programs and in the education of the interpretive staff who present these programs. Lee has volunteered his own time to present programs with the First State Heritage Park at Dover, portraying historic figures such as John Adams, Senator Richard Bassett, and Governor John G. Townsend Jr. Under Lee's guidance, interpreters at the restored Indian River Life-Saving Station have reinstituted the breeches buoy drill practiced at the station by the U.S. Life-Saving Service until the early 20th century. This is one of only 3 sites in the country where this daring rescue drill is demonstrated for the public. The Living History public programs at Fort Delaware, Fort Miles, the First State Heritage Park, and the Indian River Life-Saving Station have enjoyed a significant increase in attendance, due in part to the diverse programs that Lee Jennings developed and the professional staff that he has helped train. Because of Lee's tireless efforts to showcase history and improve the visitor's experience at Delaware State Parks, the Delaware Tourism Office is proud to present this year's Roy Klein Hall of Fame Individual Achievement Award to Mr. Leland C. Jennings Jr.